On the 400F, we've switched over to putting the exhaust on. The wheels are done, brakes, all that. So I'm just putting a little black grease on this new exhaust gasket, just so it'll stick in place. Not fall out in the middle of the process. Good. These are stuck in here pretty good. I did them already. Yeah, that was loose. So a couple of these exhaust header bolts stayed in, and some came out, nothing stripped. I have those nice chrome collars I'm going to put on. About to see them here shortly, finally. So these all need to be, well, that one needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Can't have these strip. So this all needs to work. I'm sure it will. I'm going to try to install the exhaust. And the first thing I figured I need to do, especially when you're doing it solo, is I want to stage these exhaust collars. Well, anyway, that's a start. Well, that was great. I just lifted it on and it fell into place. I mean, I was ready. I got that block back there to hold up the back end, but there's a couple studs in, and I already have some nuts on them, and well, that's it. It's not going to fall away now. It's all in place. And now it's a matter of tightening it all up. On the 400F, I decided I'm going to do a brake fluid change. As excited as I am to roll it off the homemade ramp and take it for a spin, the front brake lever felt a little bit spongy. I'm not exactly sure when it was changed last. So I'm going to do that, and over the years I found a couple tricks to make it pretty simple and pretty fast. One of them is to have a big old syringe. This one's labeled brake fluid there. You can see it upside down. And what I do is I draw the fluid out with the syringe, but not out of the line. So I just draw the base of the container out and add new fluid, and then you'll see that I'm going to bleed it, and through the clear line that it's going through, you'll see when it goes from dirty to clear. And simple as that, he says. So I'm going to start by taking this off carefully. We are changing brake fluid, not bleeding the brakes. And the way to do that is, like I showed you, drawing off the fluid out of the reservoir, but not in the brake lines. See the brake light switch there. Not in the brake lines. And then when you add that fresh fluid on top and you undo the bleed screw and pump the brakes a few times, the dirty old fluid will start coming out. And then suddenly right in the middle of this clear line, which is a battery drain tube, you'll see a clear delineation between the old and the new. And once that comes out of the line, stop, you're done. Tighten the bleed screw back, top off any fluid in the reservoir if needed, and that's it, you're done. There's no need to pump them and bleed them and undo it and pump them, bleed them, undo it. There's none of that because you haven't drawn in any air. So, and you know, with your basic jar with a hole through the top and making sure that that tube is in the fluid. So with a 6mm wrench on the bleed screw, I'm going to crack it. Boy, that's a little tight. I don't want to round this off. There we go. Okay, good enough. And give it a couple pumps. And here comes old fluid. And what I don't want to do is empty this reservoir, which means I would be emptying the line. So I'm probably going to stop here in a second and add some more fluid. Let's see here. Yeah, that's enough. The reservoir is topped back off. A lot of it drained out, and I'm just going to continue with trying to press this fluid through. I don't suspect there's any air in this line, so I don't think I drained through the line. So my plan is still to be able to see that line of old and new. Let me just mention real quick too on brake fluid. These bikes are DOT 3 and or 4. This fluid is 3 and 4 blend, which is fine. It's a hygroscopic fluid, which means that it absorbs moisture, the enemy of brake systems. So just make sure that everything is capped tightly. And I spend, like a humid day, so I spend very little time with the top off the reservoir. I take it off, put in the fluid, and put it right back on right away, so it's not exposed to the air and the humidity. And same with the bottle that it comes in, the cap goes on tightly. So let's proceed here and hope we continue to get lucky. Once it up, and let's press through here. I think I'm going to tighten that up right there. That's funny, this is tight. And it's still bubbling like that. Isn't that weird? I don't know why. But I think we just went from, in fact, you can see it right here. I don't know if you're catching this, but you can sort of see the dirty and the clean. So I'm going to top this off one more time. Tighten it up. See if I like the way it feels. And that's it. I'm going to pinch this off here so I can lift it off, let it drain into the catch reservoir. Put this dust cap back on, and that's it. All right, now to take it off this ramp, which I've never done before. I hate this part. I hate moving motorcycles unless I'm sitting on the seat. I always feel like they're gonna get away from me. I've never dropped one, but I always feel like I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this. And all right, here it goes. Oh God, I hate this already. No. And I have it on this piece of wood. Okay. that. Get that out of the way. And there we go. So in the 400F, it was time for a valve adjustment. These valve caps were a little hard to get off because they were on. Well, you're supposed to adjust your valves every 3,000 miles or 6 months. Now the good news is they were adjusted, or they're being adjusted at 2,000 miles. The bad news is that was 14 years ago. So these valve covers were a little bit tight, and I needed the heat gun to help them break free. And I'm finally using this actual purpose-built 9mm valve adjustment tool for the first time, and it looks great. It's right on, and this. So I'm just sort of testing it out. I haven't really used it before, but I like the looks of it. Great, I've got the feeler gauge already. 0.05 exhaust and intake. I have the two outside spark plugs loosened up. That'll help make it a little easier to spin it through with the Kickstarter. A little less compression. And we'll check them out. I'm hoping to find, one or two that aren't right, because, and I feel like it will, and that will solve the higher end sort of a hiccup that it has. It doesn't quite reach red line, so I think hopefully this will be it.